I built my life from ramen and bus rides. Then a letter from my dad arrived with one line that changed everything. Hi, I'm David. I'm 24 now, but this story starts when I was 16, the year I realized I was just a guest in my own family. You ever feel like you're just a background character in someone else's life? Yeah, that was me. David, the invisible older brother. My sister Isabella, the star of the show. 14 years old, sparkling personality, straight B student with the occasional A-, and somehow a genius. Meanwhile, I was pulling a 3.8 GPA, working 20 hours a week bagging groceries, buying my own clothes and school supplies. My reward? A grunt of approval from behind my dad's newspaper. Isabella, she got applause for remembering to feed the dog. When I turned 16, I needed a way to get to school and work. My dad handed me the keys to the family relic, a 2004 Honda with seats that smelled like defeat and an AC that only blew lukewarm disappointment. I was just grateful to have it. Until 2 years later, cue the fireworks and glitter cannons, Isabella turned 16. They threw her a party like she cured cancer. And then came the grand finale, a brand new, gleaming 2022 BMW. She screamed, she cried. I just stood there. Later that night, I asked my dad, calmly, why Isabella got a BMW and I got a car that probably had tetanus. His answer? You're a man. You can handle it. Isabella needs safe transportation. What? So being male meant I could drive a death trap and she needed German engineering? I pushed back, just a bit. I didn't yell, I didn't cuss, I just asked for equity. That was the beginning of the end. Over the next 2 years, I kept pushing, little by little. Every time I asked why Isabella got cash, clothes, compliments, and I got chores, my dad's jaw clenched tighter. My mom just sighed and said, Isabella deserves nice things. Apparently, I didn't. Then came my 18th birthday. No party, no cake, just meatloaf and awkward silence. Is there nothing for me? I asked. You're an adult now, my father said. Adults don't need gifts. And when I finally said, this isn't fair, he lost it. Then leave. If you can't respect how we do things, pack your bags. So I did. That night, I threw everything I owned into 2 suitcases, got into that crumbling Honda, and drove off without a plan. My mom watched me from the hallway. She didn't say a word. No hug, no goodbye. Just silence. I didn't cry. I was too stunned for tears. I just kept driving. I crashed on Marco's couch that first night. He didn't ask questions. He just handed me a blanket and said, stay as long as you need. That blanket became my home for 2 weeks while I job hunted harder and studied longer. I found a shared apartment, $450 a month, 3 roommates, 1 working shower, and a kitchen that smelled like burnt instant noodles and resignation. But it was mine. I upped my hours at the supermarket from 20 to 35, picked up weekend shifts at a diner where I learned people tip better when you pretend you're thrilled to serve lukewarm eggs. Between both jobs, I worked 55 hours a week, full-time classes too, community college, business major. I paid my own tuition, about $2,800 per semester, plus books, food, bus fare. That Honda? It gave up the ghost 3 months in. The transmission died with a wheeze, like it too had had enough of my life. The mechanic quoted $2,500 to fix it. I laughed, sold it for $500 to a scrapyard, and learned how to master the city bus, 2 hours a day, rain or shine. No calls from home. Not one. For 2 years, my name was apparently erased from the family group chat. I didn't exist, unless Isabella needed help resetting her iCloud password, which she didn't. She was busy posing next to her BMW on Instagram. #grateful, #blessed, #I love my life. Meanwhile, I was eating 33-cent ramen and using shampoo samples from CVS to survive. But I did survive. 6 months out, I got promoted at the supermarket. Cashier to supervisor, $1 raise. It felt like winning the lottery. I finished my first year with a 3.9 GPA. I met Emma during a study group. Her laugh was loud, real. She worked part-time at the library, full-time student like me. Our first date was coffee and a shared muffin. I paid. Barely. By the end of the year, we were serious. She asked me on our third date, "Does your family help you out at all?" I told her everything. The car, the couch, the ramen, the BMW. She didn't say, "That's awful." She said, "You're still standing. That's incredible." A year and a half in, I had a stable rhythm. A new apartment, tiny, but mine alone, $650 a month, no more roommates. I saved $5,500 and bought a used 2008 Toyota Corolla, paid in cash. I washed that car every Sunday like it was a Porsche. Then, exactly 2 years after I left home, my phone rang. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. It was Isabella. "David, it's me. I need your help." I stared at my phone for a full minute before hitting play. Isabella's voice sounded shaky, soft, like she'd just been crying. "David, please call me back. It's important. I really, really need your help." I didn't call, I texted. "What do you want?"
She replied in under 10 seconds. "I wrecked the BMW." For a second, I didn't even feel anything, just a blank screen in my mind. Then I started laughing. It wasn't bitter. It was the kind of laugh you let out when the universe folds in on itself so perfectly you have no other reaction. "Are you okay?" I texted back, more out of reflex than concern. "Yeah, just bruises, but the car's totaled. We still owe about $15K. Insurance won't cover it all. We didn't have gap." I waited. She kept typing. "Can you help with the payments? Maybe help me get a new car too? I need something for school." 15,000 plus maybe a new car. Nearly $20,000 depending on how bold she felt. That's what she wanted from me. After ignoring me for 2 years, after posting her #grateful life with a luxury car gifted by the same people who threw me out with 2 suitcases and a junkyard-bound Honda. I texted back one word. No. And that should have been the end of it. But an hour later, my phone rang again. This time, my father's name lit up the screen. I picked up. "David, we need to talk about your sister." "There's nothing to talk about. She's in a difficult situation. She needs help. Your help." "My sister who didn't speak to me for 2 years? That one?" "She was respecting our rules. Now circumstances have changed. Family sticks together." "Family stuck together when you kicked me out at 18? That was different. You were disrespectful. I asked why Isabella got a BMW and I got a rust bucket. And you questioned our parenting. That's not your place. So you kicked me out, and now you want a bailout?" My dad's voice changed, hard, cold. "If you don't help her, you're not part of this family." "I haven't been part of this family since the night you locked the door behind me." I hung up, blocked his number. But the circus wasn't over. My mom called next, using a new number. "David, please," she pleaded. "Isabella is desperate. She can get a job, like I did. She studies full-time. She can't work. I studied full-time and worked 55 hours a week. You're stronger. She's delicate. She's spoiled." The line went quiet. Then she said, "So you're just going to let your sister suffer? She caused it. She was texting while driving, right? It was an accident. Accidents have consequences." I blocked her too, but then they showed up. All 3 of them. Saturday morning, banging on my apartment door like the building was on fire. "David, we know you're in there. Open the door, please. Just talk to us." I didn't. I sat on the couch with Emma next to me, heart pounding. She whispered, "Call the police." I did. 10 minutes later, the cops pulled up. One officer talked to me, the other to them. "If the resident doesn't want contact, you need to leave, or you'll be arrested for harassment." They left, but Isabella turned at the bottom of the stairs, looked up at my window, and screamed, "You're a monster! I wish you were never born!" And that was when the guilt started to crawl in. I didn't sleep much that night. Even with Emma curled up next to me, breathing softly, my brain wouldn't stop spinning. "You're a monster," her voice kept echoing in my head. The same girl who got everything, presents, protection, praise, was now calling me a monster because I said no. The next week, the messages started. Unknown numbers, cousins I hadn't talked to in years, aunties from church I barely remembered. David, she's your sister. Family is more important than money. God will punish you for abandoning your blood. I blocked all of them, changed my number 2 days later, only gave it to Emma and 3 people I trusted. That helped, for a while. Then came the letter. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting. My dad's. Bold and sharp like it was etched with a knife. David, it's been 2 years. I've had time to think. We made mistakes. Big ones. We favored Isabella unfairly. We kicked you out for the wrong reasons. I'm proud of the man you've become, on your own. Isabella is struggling now because we never taught her to stand on her own. You thrived because you had no other choice. Ironic, isn't it? If you can ever forgive us, I'd like to talk. Dad. I read it once, twice, 3 times. I didn't cry, didn't rage, didn't feel anything at all. Emma watched me fold the letter and tuck it into a drawer. Are you going to answer him? No. Why not? Because I didn't need a letter. I needed a father.
And that was the truth. They gave me nothing when it mattered. No support, no second chances, just the door and a pile of insults about how I was bitter, ungrateful, disrespectful. Now that I had something, stability, they suddenly remembered I existed. 3 months after that letter, Emma and I moved into a better place. 2 bedrooms, decent kitchen, no leaky ceiling. Rent was more, but I could afford it. I'd been promoted again, assistant manager at the supermarket, $18 an hour. I wasn't rich, but I wasn't scraping anymore. I'd also bought a better car, a 2016 Honda Civic, used but in great shape, paid half in cash, financed the rest the smart way. Emma and I split bills, cooked meals together. We talked about the future. Do you ever miss them? She asked one night, washing dishes while I dried. I miss the idea of them, I said, but not the reality. You ever think about forgiving them? I paused. Forgiveness is one thing, reconciliation is another. One's internal, the other, that requires trust, and I don't trust them. Emma nodded and bumped my hip playfully. Well, I trust you, and I'm proud of you, even if you are a monster. That made me laugh, the real kind, because I knew something now. I hadn't been selfish. I hadn't been cruel. I had simply stopped bleeding for people who wouldn't even offer a Band-Aid. The more time passed, the quieter it all became. No more surprise visits, no more guilt-laced voicemails or mysterious envelopes. Just silence and peace. For the first time in years, I didn't wake up anxious, wondering when the next emotional ambush would arrive. I finished my degree path the hard way. Community college first, then I transferred and ground through the rest until I finally earned a bachelor's in business administration with honors. Emma sat front row at graduation, cheering louder than anyone. My parents? They didn't even know it was happening. I never told them. Why would I? A week after graduation, I landed a job at a logistics company as a coordinator, full-time, $48,000 a year, benefits, paid vacation, actual health insurance, real adult stuff. I didn't feel like I was pretending anymore. I was living. Emma and I moved into a better apartment, modern, quiet, good neighbors who didn't scream at each other through the walls. We split furniture costs, planned a vacation we still haven't taken, and created a little world of our own. Our fridge had real food in it. Our Sundays were slow. Our life was simple, but solid. One evening after work, I got a text from a cousin I hadn't blocked. Nico, chill guy, always neutral. Hey, just thought you should know, Isabella dropped out of college. I blinked at the screen. She working now? I asked. Yeah, retail. Clothing store, I think. Parents are having money problems. They can't help anymore. I stared at that message for a long time, not because I was surprised, but because it made sense. When the bank of mom and dad dried up, Isabella didn't know how to float. She'd never been taught to swim, only how to spend. I wasn't smug. I wasn't even satisfied. Just sad. Not for her exactly, but for what could have been different. I asked Nico, does she still hate me? Pretty much. Blames you for everything. Of course she does. She says if you had helped her after the accident, her life would have turned out better.
I laughed, out loud, not out of joy, just disbelief. Help her? She wrecked her car, refused to work, and expected me, the disowned brother, to fund her bailout, and somehow I was the villain in her story? That's when it really clicked. No matter what I did or didn't do, I was going to be the bad guy in their narrative. Because I didn't play along, I didn't stay quiet, I didn't accept my assigned role as the one who sacrifices while the golden child glows. That was never going to change. Emma found me sitting on the couch that night, phone in hand. "Everything okay?" she asked. Nodded. "Just got the latest update on Isabella's fantasy world." "She still blames you?" "Yup." "Let her. You're not her brother anymore. Not really." And she was right. Blood made us siblings. Choices made us strangers. Life moved forward, and I let it.
I focused on my work, on Emma, on finally being able to buy the good shampoo instead of the $2 bottle that smelled like chemical apples. I built routines, not walls, though sometimes it was hard to tell the difference. One afternoon, I came home from work and found Emma at the kitchen table, laptop open, a familiar envelope in front of her. "Mail came," she said, eyes unreadable. I looked at the envelope. Same handwriting as before. My father's. "I thought you'd changed addresses." "I did. Guess the forwarding finally caught up." I didn't open it immediately. I made dinner first. Stir fry, lots of garlic. Emma and I ate in front of the TV, watching a bad dating show where people yell at each other in hot tubs. It was a good distraction. Later that night, I sat on the couch alone and opened the letter. Dated. "It's been almost 4 years. I won't ask for forgiveness again. I know I hurt you. I see it now. We thought we were doing what was best, that we were protecting Isabella, guiding her, but all we did was stunt her, and we lost you in the process. I'm sorry. I know I can't undo what we did. I just want you to know I'm proud of you, truly. Mom is too, even if she won't say it. We hope you're well. We love you. Dad." No ask for money, no guilt, just words. I folded it slowly and put it in the same drawer as the first letter. Emma walked in a few minutes later and leaned against the doorframe. "You okay?" "Yeah." "Do you believe him this time?" "I believe he regrets it. I don't know if he understands it." "You going to write back?" I shook my head. What would I even say? "Thanks for the apology, but I've already rebuilt the house you burned down?" She walked over and sat beside me. "You don't owe them anything. Not a reply, not a reaction." "I know, it just still messes with me sometimes. That weird ache, like something's missing." "It's not missing," she said softly. "You gave it up to survive." And she was right, because no matter how much you want family to change, to grow, to own what they've done, sometimes they only do it when it's too late. Isabella, from what Nico told me, was still bitter. Still working retail, still blaming the world, still convinced that if I had handed her a check, she'd be driving a new BMW and attending some fancy college. But that's the thing about spoiled people. They see boundaries as betrayal. I didn't cut them off to punish them. I did it to protect myself. It took me years to realize I wasn't the villain in the story. I was just the one who finally walked out of the burning house while they kept yelling at the smoke. I didn't plan to hear about my family again. I'd built walls thick enough to keep out hurricanes, let alone unwanted phone calls. But life has a funny way of testing your boundaries the second you stop guarding them so hard. Emma and I were grocery shopping. Saturday afternoon, long list, both of us hangry and arguing over which almond milk tastes less like wet cardboard, when I saw her. Isabella. Aisle 5, standing next to a discount rack of Soon Soup, wearing a name tag. She didn't see me at first. Her hair was pulled back, face tired, makeup half done like she'd thrown it on during a red light. She looked older. Not in years, but in spirit, like life had hit pause on her dream and forgot to press play again. Emma noticed my stare. "What is it?" "My sister," I said. She turned, eyes widening. "That's her?" "Yep." "You want to go another way?" "No." And that's when Isabella looked up. Our eyes met. I expected drama, yelling, maybe a soup can thrown at my head, but all she did was freeze, mouth slightly open, like seeing a ghost.
She didn't move. Neither did I. After about 10 seconds, she walked toward me, slow, cautious like I might bolt. "David," she said. "Isabella." Emma took a respectful step back, pretending to check cereal boxes but listening like a hawk. "I didn't know you still lived around here." "I do." "You look different." "I am."
She paused. "You look good." "Thanks. You too." That was a lie, and we both knew it, but I was being polite. She glanced at Emma, then back at me. "Is that your—" "Yeah, Emma, my girlfriend." "She's pretty." "I know." Another pause, the kind that feels like it's holding its breath. "I never got to say thank you," Isabella said. "For what?" "For not helping me." I blinked. "Come again?" "I was so angry. When you said no, I thought you were cruel. I thought you were selfish. But now—" She gestured vaguely around the store. "Now I get it. Life hit me in the face, and I realized I didn't know how to do anything. No one ever made me do anything." I didn't say anything. I let the silence answer for me. "I'm not asking for anything," she added quickly. I wanted you to know that I finally get it. And I'm sorry. I still have days where I'm bitter, but I know that's on me." There was no dramatic hug, no tears, no cheesy piano music swelling in the background. Just two adults standing near a shelf of instant noodles, acknowledging that time doesn't heal everything, but it does clarify. "Thank you," I said, and I meant it. We nodded, an unspoken agreement to part ways peacefully. Emma waited until Isabella walked off. "You okay?" "Yeah." "You believe her?" "I don't know, but I believe me now, and that's enough." 3 months later, I got married. It was small, 20 people in a park with folding chairs and fairy lights. Emma wore a $200 dress and sneakers. I wore a suit I'd saved up for, tailored just enough to make me look like I had my life completely together. We danced under the stars to a playlist Emma made herself. Our cake was homemade. Our vows were not. It was perfect. I didn't invite my parents. I didn't invite Isabella either. Not because I was angry, but because I no longer felt like I owed them anything. Peace isn't always loud and dramatic. Sometimes it's just choosing not to reopen the door. Emma and I built a life from the ground up. We paid off the Civic, took a road trip through 5 states, arguing over gas station snacks and making up 5 minutes later. She started her master's. I got another promotion, team lead at the logistics company, now making $62,000 a year. No silver spoon, no inheritance, just effort, consistency, freedom. One day, about a year after the wedding, I got another letter, this one from Isabella. "Dear David, I don't know if you'll read this. I'm not asking for money, I swear. I just wanted to say congratulations. I saw photos on social media. You and Emma look really happy. I'm doing better now. Got a new job at a customer service firm. Not glamorous, but stable. I've started night classes, paying for them myself. You probably don't believe me, and that's okay. But I think about you a lot. About what you said. About consequences, about standing on your own. I used to resent you for not helping. Now I realize that was the first time someone ever forced me to grow. Thank you. I hope you're happy. You deserve to be. Isabella." I folded the letter and put it away. Not in the drawer with Dad's, but in a box labeled Life Lessons that Emma made for me. A small box full of things I never want to forget and never want to relive. Later that night, Emma found me on the balcony, coffee in hand, watching the city lights flicker. "Another letter?" she asked. I nodded. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, actually, I think I'm okay." "Like really okay?" I smiled. For the first time in my life, I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Because here's the thing people don't tell you. You don't have to keep toxic people in your life just because they share your last name. You don't have to bleed to prove you're loyal. You don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. I was kicked out at 18 for asking a question. Now, I'm 24, married, stable, happy. I built everything they said I couldn't without their help. And I learned this. The family you build will always matter more than the family that broke you.
and I never looked back.